plot of the Forza Del Destino is quite convoluted, but it gives Verdi the most fantastic opportunity to show off his musical expertise and his range of styles. And he's found a story which is complex to understand, and everyone will read their program, but it's full of Spanish elements, and it will have examples of duets, trios, quartets, ensembles and choruses. In this opera he has a chance to write a duet between a bass and a soprano, which is very unusual at the time, between Padre Guardiano and Leonora, when Leonora is asking for asylum from Guardiano, who's a priest, to save her from being chased by the enemies because Avara, her lover, has just killed her father. The brother of Leonora is not pleased about his father being shot, and he goes to search for Avara, but of course both of them are in disguise, so they don't recognize each other. So at one point they swear friendship, and that's a way that composers used to write in thirds, which is a very beautiful interval, and it often is about love or it's about friendship. So that was a duet. You can hear these incredible intervals which they sing together, and it's fantastic when you get two wonderful voices blending like that. Verdi uses a lot of voice types in this opera. He uses a lyric soprano for Leonora, and we have a coloratura mezzo for Cecilia, who has to be very Spanish, and right down to obviously the tenor and baritone, and then this bass. It was a very serious bass, and that's a fantastic blend of colours, and in this cast that we have, you'll hear some wonderful voices. So the Spanish element of the story, because it's set in Spain, gives Verdi a chance to write dances in a Spanish style, tarantella, and then we have a rataplan, which is a chorus with a drummer on stage, which is a very military Spanish element. So you can hear that Spanish excitement in the kind of music, and there's lots of dancers during this whole show, and lots of big chorus scenes. The Verdi overtures often show or display the synopsis of the plot, and this certainly happens in this overture, which is very famous and used in the concert hall. It starts with the 3 knocks of fate. Now these knocks were used in the theatre, in the old theatre, to actually get the audience to stop talking and to attend. And a man would come on the stage and hammer with a big stick the stage to create the silence. And there were always famously 3 knocks. And you'll hear this at the beginning of this overture. These knocks are used throughout the opera. The beginning of the first scene, which is set late at night when Avara is trying to elope with Leonora, and this is the point where the accident happens with her father. We hear these knocks, but very quietly. So then we hear the knocks again at the beginning of a big chorus scene, which is set in a tavern. And we hear the knocks in a very stronger way and in a kind of dancing situation. And finally we hear the knocks at the beginning of the battle scene. Now we have a big fight, and which Alvaro and Carlos are involved in. So going back to the overture, we now hear the Fate theme, which is a little bit based on the idea of the same rhythm as Beethoven's Fifth, because that was a very dramatic piece for the time. And then this is transformed, not the same notes, but with this rhythm in the beginning of the overture. So this theme comes through the opera, as you can guess, because it's about destiny, and we hear mainly Leonora's aria. Her life is destroyed by this whole situation, and she's always running, and she's always in some desperate situation. And she always seems to be in a place where everyone else appears. It's an amazing story. They always seem to find each other. So that theme will always come, and you'll recognize it immediately you hear it. Then we have a new theme, which is associated with Avaro, which he uses in the last scene when he's pleading for help and mercy from Leonora's brother, who's trying to kill him because of, he wants revenge. And you hear this pleading motive, but at the same time, we still hear the destiny theme. Verdi was brilliant at writing melodies. There are so many melodies which express everything that the singer is feeling at the time. Unlike Wagner, he doesn't have to put everything in the orchestra. He can put it simply in the vocal line, and that theme can tell you the whole of what Avaro is feeling at the time. Then we have in the overture a new theme, which is Leonora praying to heaven for help, as she needs assistance as well. As you hear, there's always that fight between destiny and people's lives. And lastly, we have a Guardiano theme, which is to do with the Leonora Guardiano duet. And then the rest of the overture will be dealt with the fight between all these elements. So in that overture, you have all the elements you need to have for the whole opera. I hope you enjoy it.